Hello everyone, this is group 21 and this is our application for assignment 2. First we will do a demo for our applications. Let me just type in all the information required first, and then we hit the create table button. After that we hit the run button. It will start run to check the sensor, and we can also change the sensor so we can see the changes on different axes. And when we hit the stop button, we can also hit run button again. So the break of the line is caused because when we hit the stop button, we will stop the sensor, and then the sensor will not record any data. But when we hit the run button again, it will start draw the real-time graph for the last 10 seconds. For the previous 10 seconds of the current time, and then we can hit the stop button, and we can upload our database to the server. After that, we can also hit download button, and after download the database, it will draw the last 10 seconds, the data of the last 10 seconds. Also, we can see on the server that there is a file called group21.db, which is the database we created.
Next, let's look at the Android device monitor to see if the DB file is actually stored in the SD card. We look at our app, and we under the storage file, we can see the SD card, and the Android data is the folder we created. The CSE535 assignment 2 and CSE535 assignment 2 down is the folder we created for uploading and downloading respectively. The group 21db is the database file we created. So this means the database file is successfully created and stored in the SD card.
From group 21. My part is doing network check. Network check. Here is my code. It will check whether the network is available and then get the connection to the network. And then I'm doing accelerator service for the onCreate function. It will when I create the class, it will create a sensor service. For the destroy, it will unregister to the sensor listener. For the start command, it will start the accelerator, get the data, get into the database, and then get registered to the sensor. For the on sensor changed, first it will read the data, the sensor data, and then save the four values x, y, and z, and the time step was related to the patient. At last, it will insert the tuples into database, as showing here is the method add record task. Then I did the stop button part in the main function. Here it will stop data service. First, it will stop collecting data from sensor, and then it will set the flag to be false. At last, it will click the graph view. Thank you.
Hi, this is Yi Chen. My part is patient database helper, patient basic info, and on-run click function in main activity. In patient DB helper, I extend SQLite open helper and use the parent constructor to create a database under the SD card. And in patient basic info class, I create variable ID, age, name, sex for the table name, and XYZ value, timestamp for table column to save information. And in on-run click function, I first check if all information has been filled, then check if table has already created. If not, then create one. I also create a thread for data reading.
This is Boxin. I'll introduce the uploading part of our assignment. So for the uploading, we first create the database context. In this database context, the function is we want to check if there is available SD card, and if the answer is yes, we want to create the folder of our DB file, and we want to create a DB file in it. As we can see, we first check with the Android OS environment to see if the SCAD is available. Then we create the CSE535 assignment 2 folder, and then we check if the file exists. If not, we create the DB file with the SQLite. Then we jumping into the main activity. In the upload part, when the upload button is clicked, when the upload button is clicked, we first check if the uploading is ongoing, and also the network connection, and if the database file exists. If the upload is not ongoing and the network is connection is ready and the data file exists, then we will execute the upload DB task. In the upload DB task, in the onPrint execute, we tell the user the DB file is uploading. In the background process, we try to upload the DB file, and in the post exit, we tell the user if the upload is success or not. In the upload DB function, we first build the HTTP connection with the Android device and the remote server, and then we create the upstream object and put our data into the upstream to upload the DB file. Then we close the upstream and check if the uploading is a success.
I'm Jiankang. I'm going to talk about the graph view and the download functions in the main activities. First, I will talk about the graph view. Graph view is basically a class for the user interface, and also we override the onDraw functions to draw x, y, and z data on the graph. So we override the onDraw functions in this class. Since we first, this code are basically the code to draw the vertical and horizontal axis, set the background colors, and also write the title of our applications. And since we're going to draw 3 data points, we use 3 data x, y, and z. We use 3 different colors to denote these variables, which is red, green, and blue respectively. And in the values array, we store x, y, and z data for each timestamp continuously in the values. So we use a for loop to process this array and draw the corresponding data points on the graphs. And then I will going to talk about the download database functions. So when we click the download button, it will call the onDownload clicked functions. This is after we click this function, we will first create a folder for the downloaded file, and also check if the network is connected, or we are currently downloading the file. If not, we set the flag to true and start an async task called download db task. So download db task is an async task, and it will run a download db functions in background. So the download db function works as follows. First, we set up the URL HTTP connections to the server, and create a file locally in our phone, and read the data from the server and write those data into our local files. After that, we return the Boolean value to show if the download is successful or not. Once the download is completed, we will show a message to tell user if the download is successful or not. And after downloading the file, we will also call show data functions to plot the last 10 data points of our database. So the show data function is basically to read the file, to read the database, and call a plot download data functions. And this function will start another async task called plot downloaded data task. And this task will call a read record function in the background. And the read record function will read all data in the database and order them by descending orders, and store the values into an array list and return for further use. After that, it will call the update data functions to pass the values to our graph view, and then our graph view will draw these values on the user interface.